and welcome to another episode of CIO Talks Series by Ensure Services, a brand of Redington. Ensure Services is all about helping organizations optimize their technology so that they can focus on their business purpose. In these series, we speak with business leaders across different verticals and understand from them that how they're optimizing technology in their organizations to help achieve their business purpose. Today, we have with us BYJU PHILIP, who is a seasoned IT leader in the hospitality space. He is also the president of the Hospitality Tech Forum of UAE. He has won various accolades such as CIO of the Year and also the IT Personality of the Year in Hospitality, amongst others. Mr. BYJU PHILIP, thank you so much for joining us here today. I hope we'll have some really cool conversations around how you are utilizing IT to accomplish business objectives in the hospitality segment.
In hospitality, the concept is totally changed since a traveler is thinking or a guest is thinking of starting his stay in a hotel. From there, our involvement comes. So the moment you go into booking.com or any other medias to book the hotel, so our job starts there. From there till he leaves the hotel, we are managing the profile, including the guest needs, anticipating the guest needs. We are recording what is his preferences. So that all has to be carried out. So maybe people from outside the industry might be thinking that what is it in a hotel that much of technology is utilized. When you come into deeper, you will come to know it is like an ocean. Each and every touch point is actually technology controlled. It is very important that the technology in modern hospitality industry, I can say in one way, we are driving the industry.
Thank you for those opening words. And with that, I'd like to introduce Suresh Babu, who's the Senior Vice President for Ensure Services across Middle East Africa. Suresh, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much. Welcome, Mr. BYJU PHILIP. And I'm really looking forward to great, insightful conversations during next half an hour.
So, BYJU, before we get into the details of how IT is being leveraged in the hospitality sector, how did you get into the hospitality space and IT?
So I start from networking, and I happen to go in a prestigious hotel in Oman for a support. So whereby we were chatting with the regional IT from that hotel who was looking after the entire Oman operation. I was asking few questions, how it is operating, what is it. So my passion started. Then I've been there to that hotel for a couple of supports, not only in network, some other areas as well. Then one day he asked me a question, would you like to join hospitality? We have an opening. I said, I don't know what is all about hospitality, what all are the systems you are using. But end of the day, I'm technically a little bit of knowledge. So it's not that difficult to capture things. So from there, I started my career in 2006 into hospitality. Before that, I was into administration, into networking, into customer support, and all these things. So in 2006, I started the journey in hospitality. From there till now, the journey is ongoing.
Any young professionals in the space listening to this will be inspired by your story as well. And just moving on, we all know how impacted hospitality was during COVID. What we really want to understand is what was happening in the IT department in hospitality.
We can distinguish the technology innovations in two eras. We can say it as BC and AC, before COVID and after COVID. You might be wondering why I'm saying like that. Before COVID, all the technologies were there, but it was not utilized or not being innovative to make a guest service very seamless. And so that all gap were filled after COVID situation. After COVID, so the sustainability become more adaptive into hospitality. It was there in few hotels, but thanks to Dubai as well, it is enforcing to have a sustainability in here. And when you look at the touch points, guests were very keen not to touch on something and not to hand over. So the first thing we introduce is the digital key, because if the guest room key cards were reused, it's also a sustainability part. We are reusing the cards. So then every time we have to sanitize it and all these things. Then the technology was there, but not being widely used. So we introduced the digital platform of the key. And then if you look at, every guest has to sign on the registration form. That was also in a paper. That paper has to be printed out, taken by a colleague and give to the guest. So again, there is the people were, or the guests or the travelers, they were worried actually. See, that time the COVID, people were very panicking. They were even very much afraid to touch on a wall where somebody was touching there. So there we have implemented digital registration cards. So they can sign digitally, and then they don't have to touch anything. Then in-room technologies, they have to only use a remote, or even they can use everything from their phone. So the mobile apps and all become very prominent by that time. So if you look at before COVID, the mobile apps utilization were very less. Maybe majority of the banks or some other industries were using mobile apps. Now, if you look at mostly all the good brands of hotels are using mobile apps. In our hotel, the mobile apps, you can open the door, you can control the room, entire room can be controlled, you can control the TV, you can order anything you want through the mobile. You name it, around 11 integrations we have done with our mobile apps as well. So a lot of innovations in this after COVID has happened, especially in our industry. So no need of a guest to touch on a foreign item which is used by somebody in the room. They can depend on their own device during the entire stay. So there is a big change you can see in technology wise in all the hotels.
Interesting to know, and as guests, I'm sure we've also experienced that. Could you tell us about some challenges you faced while implementing such large scale changes?
Right. Basically, thing is that it was a mandatory requirement. So it was so easy for us to convince the owners or the management to have these kind of systems in the hotel. So the challenges, the initial challenges were adaptability. So when a new system came in the picture, and what all I was using till yesterday has been changing from tomorrow. So, and other thing is, many guests, I'm not, don't take it as negative, many guests were not familiar with the technologies which is in the room. So then we have to, they are calling every time and asking how to operate this, or what is it. There is no switches in the room. Physically, they used to manage the dip switches and all. There is no switches in the room, and things like that. Then they were saying, I kept the lights on in the room. When I come back, the lights are not there. I set the AC as 16. When I came, it is getting cooler. So that all sustainability technology also along with it implemented. So maybe from a guest point of view, for some time they got a bit of challenge to adapt the new system. Apart from that implementation point of view or anything, it was so easy. There was not much challenges. Then, yes, during the pandemic period, we have to invest a little more on that one. All of a sudden, the business was less and the investment came into picture. Surprisingly, if you look at cost or the pricing of systems were drastically gone down after the COVID period. Maybe because in all the industry, people were started working from home. So there also they got some sort of savings in payroll, and so they all are working from home. So that may be impacted in the system pricing as well. If you also look at, you can see that when a i3 or an i5 computer, now you will be getting that same price for a high-end workstation like that. the price is for, say, for an hi-fi computer, what you were paying, you will get a hi-fi workstation with that same price, right? So that also is there. We have to consider that.
Wow, you make it sound so easy. Suresh, I'll come to you. Same question to you. From a managed IT services perspective, what changed in the hospitality industry pre and post COVID?
I think Philip's explained so well how it impacted pre-COVID and post-COVID. Think of it in the pre-COVID. There have been so much of a human experience. See, the hospital is all about the human touch. You know how there is so much of a soft skill training. The staff are well trained to welcome people, and in the industry, the human touch was so high. But I think the pandemic necessitated the less human touch and a lot more digitalization. So there's been a huge digital transformation that has happened in the hospitality industry, starting from how you book your accommodation reservation, and then you move on to digital check-in, right? They're completely digitalized, and then, as you mentioned, the key is the mobile key, and most important, the complete operation that happens in the room, and you can do a digital checkout. The dining is again, it's a mobile. There is no more the nice menu card that you could see, right? And what it necessitates is the complete the infrastructure readiness. So which means that the strong the Wi-Fi network, the server, the flexible, scalable, the infrastructure backing up these needs, because now the need of digitalization and the number of devices that get connected, the strong network, because people in the room more and more would access the information. Unlike in the prior days, they'll be traveling, if it is a vacation, they go out, if it is business, they go and meet clients. Now the action is happening within the hotel, and the increase on the workload that's happening. So the whole new the infrastructure setup to cater to the digital transformation needs is what has changed. And most important, even now after things have come back to normal, the digitalization, the transformation that has happened in the hospitality, it continues to go in the same way. We can see the gusts have come back both for a personal and the business travel, but the digital transformation that got carried out due to the pandemic for good, it continues to carry forward now, because most of the travelers got used to this digital experience and they love it. So what it means is you would see more and more digital transformation happening, digitalizing the experience of the guest happening. We would find the new avenues of it happening, right? So these are some changes that has happened, Raghav. So we continue to see more and more happening.
Great insights, Suresh. So now we have the IT infrastructure, a brand new IT infrastructure, which is supporting the digital transformation initiatives 24/7. So let's just move to the consumer level, right? We all know that today personalization is key,
Absolutely.
right? And earlier, like we used to look at consumers in a group. Now we are talking of a segment of one. So to that extent, we are looking at personalization. So how are you bringing about personalization within your setup?
Right. I believe you are asking from a customer point. Your question is from a customer point, how we are personalized. So the guest preferences in the new system, it made more easy to record guest preferences. So that is also a good advantage with these new innovations and updates in the system could happen. For example, if you are staying in the room and by 10:30 you have ordered orange juice, for example. So we are recording it because that order gone through my system. Before they might be calling room service and say, hey, can I get an orange juice? Now it is through the system. So automatically we are capturing that. So next time when the guests come, we can say, sir, during daytime you used to drink orange juice. Shall we repeat that? So the guest forgot that last time he had an orange juice. Or maybe he must have commented that the orange juice was not up to my expectation, and we have offered something else for that. And he said, oh, wow, that juice was amazing. So I loved it. So we will record that. So this time, if he is ordering again an orange juice, we will say that, sir, last time you said the juice which we served was, you were loving it. So shall we repeat that? Oh, yes, why can't? So each touch points of the guest were recorded very easily. We don't have to do any rocket science over there or to have an Excel sheet preparing. Mr. Suresh was staying that time, and in Excel sheet we will say his preferences was this, his room setup was like this. So that all been captured there. And maybe you don't need a makeup service every day. That also being used. So in that sense, this technology is helping customers also, and we can create the wow factor there. So when you return to my hotel or to any other hotel, so you will feel that you are back home. You don't have to ask for anything or request for anything or don't wait for anything. When the time comes, automatically you will be alerted that this is going to come.
Interesting. I mean, a lot of data being utilized in this. I'm sure there's a lot of analytics happening behind. How do you balance the human touch and the technology in your kind of an environment where human touch plays a very significant role? I mean, when you enter a hotel, you need to see a smiling face in front of you. So how do you balance the two?
Absolutely. See, if we digitalize 100% also, when a guest comes, any guest is expecting, because he might be traveling alone, or for a business luxury hotel, the guests are coming with a, see, he or she might be coming for 2 days, must be having 10 meetings or has to visit there, travel there, and all these things. So they were expecting somebody to talk to them. Even if this digitalization is happening or digital transformation happened, even a guest can scan their IDs and all, they can make an easy check-in. But what we used to do is, we have a point where we meet the guest, we greet the guest physically, and we explain them, we are here, even if it is all digitalized, feel free, we are here, our guest relation desk is open. So they are coming down, we will be chit-chatting, and also time to time in all the systems, guests can give the feedback as well, what's their like or dislikes or whatever it is. So immediately we are getting notified. In previous time, after the checkout only, their feedback we are getting. So if you are experiencing a challenge in your room or during your stay, immediately we can address that. So we are interacting with the guest. So that is minimizing even that the relation bonding, the bond is building up there. So even if digitalization or digital transformation happened, we are continuously doing this as well.
Amazing. I mean, a good balance being struck over there. Suresh, I'd like to ask you here that while the hospitality industry is creating a balance between the two, what is the role of a managed IT services provider in all of this?
Yeah, that's a pretty wonderful question. See, the way it happens is, like we both of us discussed about how the digital transformation has taken the industry forward to provide the seamless digitalization experience for our guests. Given that background, right, there is a huge amount of infrastructure that's backing up the whole experience, right? So it is important the whole infrastructure being proactively monitored, any patches that get updated, and more than that, the complete guest information is there in the network. For example, the passport details, or the Emirates ID or citizenship card numbers, and credit card details, the personal details, the name, age, and all that. It's such a confidential information of the individuals, both at a personal level and at a financial risk level. The one of the challenge that has happened in the industry in the last few years with more and more remote working and the hybrid working, more and more digitalization that is happening, a lot of cyber attacks that's happening, ransomware calls that's happening. So it is so important. It is well protected from a cyber security perspective. For example, with a SOC center monitoring the threats that's happening and taking the preventive measures. And second thing that's happening with a lot more digital thing that's happening within the hotel, it is more important to know how the network bandwidth, because it needs to be scalable. You would have a gust coming in certain period. For example, next month is going to be JITEX. You will see 100% capacity occupied in most of the hotels. So, so those are all the lean period and the peak period, how the network at all the corners of the hotel. I think that is where that plays another important role. And there are multiple vendors who are providing the hardware. So you need somebody providing the holistic approach of all the vendors support provided, so that the hotel doesn't run with the multiple vendors. So that is where a managed IT service provider like us play a very key role, providing the end-to-end support, the cybersecurity support, the system support, the multiple vendor support, infrastructure support. That is where the multiple the systems can be supported, and the managed IT services provider play a very key role in enabling the objectives of the hospitality to provide seamless experience for the guest.
Great point, Suresh. In fact, I'll pick up one point from what you said is around cybersecurity. My question to BYJU would be not just on cybersecurity, but what's the scope of security overall, and how do you address it today?
Well, that is the key point in our day-to-day life, especially when it comes from a technology perspective. So we are handling data. Data consist of personal information. When you come to a hotel or you stay in a hotel, you are surrendering yourself to the hotel. So we have to give 101 percentage security to that. So coming to the point, data privacy, data security. So we are giving the topmost priority to data security and data privacy, where credit card informations are there, passports, or as Mr. Suresh said, entire details are there. We are actually day to day, we are giving the top priority, the first and foremost priority we are giving is for data security. For that, we are using even not only one vendor, multiple vendors, because through different eyes, the view is different. So we are using that for the priority basis. For that, see, if you look at the hospitality industry nowadays, hackers are behind hospitality industry. They are trying, we can't imagine the way they are trying. If you want, I can add an example. Recently, a guest made a real booking. All right. Then they contacted the hotel saying that I have some allergies to some of the chemicals which is using by housekeeping, as well as some food allergies are there. So guest said, so prior to coming there, they sent an email with an attachment stating that this is the report given by my doctor. So you can have a look and revert back to me. Is this kind of chemicals or food ingredients are using in your hotel? So luckily, because we are doing a daily basis awareness to all the guests, not only to a person who is using computers or any systems, even the housekeeping guys we are giving, even for the stewarding we are giving. As I said, each and every point there is some technology is being used. So immediately it is being reported. So we have our own lab and all, we have our own testing. When we were opening, it is not opening. So I have told them, you report to them saying that the attachment is not opening. So immediately they said, oh, it's sent by the doctor. So please go through this link. So then I was actually witnessing that. You said, reply back, thank you very much. all these kind of chemicals and ingredients in our hotel we are using. All right. Thank you very much. So actually it was a Trojan, and it is not only a Trojan, behind that we have investigated. It was actually some sort of hacking behind it. If by mistake they have opened that link, it could have been gone. So we will be sued. The entire this much of reputation what we build in the entire world for such a big chain, it will be sued. So that is there on daily basis, not in only this way. And when our country is concerned, Dubai is giving, if you look at daily basis, you will receive an SMS saying that don't share any of the information from all the ways. So now mostly everybody is alert as well. They are even thinking is giving their credit card to them. So hospitality industry is giving very topmost priority to this one, and we are actually utilizing the topmost systems and partners from the industry to monitor this on top of what we are doing on daily basis as well, including penetration test and all.
So, BYJU, thank you so much for that insightful reply. And I'd like to talk about another topic that also starts with S, which is equally important, which is sustainability. So, if you could just shed some light in terms of how is IT contributing towards promoting sustainability in hospitality?
Being in UAE, there is three T's they are giving importance. The first two T's are tourism and technology, where we represent tourism and technology. And our country is giving high value to sustainability. And this year also, it is declared as Sustainability Year of Sustainability.
Yes.
So in my hotel, we are not only my hotel. Since I am leading the Hospitality Tech Leaders Forum as well, while chatting with around 114 leaders, all the hotels were giving high priority to sustainability, whereby DTCM came up with 19 points has to be satisfied or to be maintained in each and every hotel to be certified as well. So when it comes to sustainability, if you look at the paper sale in the market who all are dealing with, it is reduced. In my hotel, hardly we are using papers. Then no more plastics. If you look at even a small thing, the room key cards, if somebody is not using digital keys, no more plastic keys, it is all wooden keys, the bamboo type. And if you look at the room, we have, before if you go to any luxury hotel or anything, you will get 50 ml of, shampoos or things like that from the amenity point from the bathrooms. That all stopped now. We are keeping bigger bottles which cannot be removed. So as much they want, they can use. They can dispense as much and they can use. So that plastic is removed. Before also, after this, out of this 50 ml of shampoo or body lotion or shower gel, you will be using maybe 10 ml. That is going as waste. And it is a burden for our earth. So that all we have reduced. And from the technology point, we were, as I said in the beginning as well, the digitalization helped a lot into doing this. So no more menus. It is all through QR codes. No more printed items in the room. Flyers and all are now in the digital screens. So everything is even before, whenever there is a maintenance or a bigger maintenance or a fire drill or something like that, we used to give in olden age, we used to give paper, printed paper informing the guest. That all digitalized. It is going through your mobile alert in the mobile app or in the TV. So I think in hospitality industry, around more than 50% is contributing through technology for the sustainability.
Great, thanks for those points. In fact, Suresh, I'd like to ask you as well, what more can be done to drive sustainability in hospitality?
Yeah, I think sustainability as such, it's a big topic. It's there today, government to government, country to country. Globally, the leaders are committed to have a sustainable world, sustainable plan for the future generation. I think while government to government, country to country, it's happening. It is also happening at the corporate level, and we all need to do the individual level. Having said that, the few thoughts, and some of it are being followed by the hospitality already, right? The first and foremost is how do you have great energy efficient data centers, and when a lot of the digital devices get outdated, how do we kind of dispose them in a sustainable manner? That's very important. As we move more and more digital, at the end of it, you would have the digital devices that needs to be outdated one, disposed in a sustainable manner. And as we discussed, both check-in and check-out are completely digitalized. There will not be any more the printouts, registration forms, or the bills coming in. I mean, complete the paper and the printouts gone away. And the next thing is, you see now a lot of displays in the hotel. Every hotel is keeping, every display is consuming energy. So possibly we got to figure out a way when there is no traffic, how it kind of switching off, when the traffic is there, switching on. I think that could be another one. Most of us in the hotel rooms, we have a habit of leaving everything switched on. It starts from the lights and the TVs, right? So I think there needs to be a sensor that figures out, okay, nobody is there in the room, everything switches off, right? Somebody gets in, switching it on, all right? I think those are the things would help. And of course, we can go on saying, for example, solar energy or a windmill energy instead of a traditional energy. That's again it's a very important initiative. At the end of it, most important, how do you create this awareness among all the staff, and most important, especially in the hotel industry, hospitality industry, you would have hundreds and thousands of guests coming in every few days and every month. I think when we educate them on a holistic basis, get that habits in a sustainable manner, that will be a great win. In the hospitality industry, they are in such a beautiful position to create this awareness to the thousands of guests coming in. I'm sure everybody is today aware of sustainability, but when this awareness gets created, many people will participate in this. I think that will change the world from a sustainability perspective moving forward, what we give it to a future generation, Raghav.
Adding to that, when we talk about the challenges, that's what I was going through a point. One of the challenges is this one. Guests were not, they were looking for the knobs, switch knobs. That is all moved to sensors. In normal hotels even, my hotel is a bit luxurious, luxury business hotel. We have sensors each and every point. So if you look at now, even if in a small mall also, the water taps doesn't have the knob. It is operated through sensors. So water conservation is happening. Then when it comes to energy conservation, the GRM system, guest room management systems, mostly all the leading systems are very much adapted with this kind of savings. So in my room, if you are entering, it will come back. See, before we have seen in cars and all, when you enter, when you open and sit on your seat, it will adjust by itself the distance, whatever is the position, the temperature, everything. That is exactly copied in all the guest rooms. So your preferences, when you come back, the AC temperature will set to what is your desired temperature automatically. And if there is no traffic or no movement, automatically everything switches off. So you don't have to think about whether I have to switch off or switch on. So energy conservation is happening. If you look at sustainability point of view, water conservation, energy conservation, all these things are happening a lot.
Amazing. Good, very good points, and good to know such initiatives have already been implemented, and just talking about them. And my final question is, while you're taking all of these initiatives and also reducing e-waste, how do you see the future of technology in hospitality?
Well, see, when Tesla introduced something, So we were all excited. That is what the future technology in hospitality at this point also getting changed. So it's AI is introduced into each and every system, especially if you look at the artificial intelligence. So the repeated guest when he come to the hotel, so it is scanning you and already setting up that the AI will change all your desires and all, or what is your experience before it is replicating. So AI is emerging into the all the applications along with the technology systems. So I cannot say as of now, we can't predict like that. Every second it is changing. So next you can see that same like in airports. You don't have to even wait for a key. You just walk in, straight away go to your room. If you look at before a guest has to come and hotel tours were happened a lot. The marketing team from tour operators, they used to come and see the room or the meeting room. Now it is 360-degree, the 3D images with the VR effect is there in our website as well. So you will not feel like you are going to a different room. You can see each and every corners through AI and all. So you know where is the TV placed, or where is the remote is, or where is the bed lamp is. You are going back to your home itself. So you will be seeing the entire room from your home before you travel. So you are having a detailed view of your hotel, and you will feel that physically you are there. So if you go into our website, you can walk into that one. You will feel that. So AI is being implemented, and it is going into more detail and into deep. So I believe that guest, once a booking is confirmed, he or she don't have to wait for anything. Straight away go into the room, do his meetings, or even if it is a meeting room. So it will be, I think at point of time, there will not be a reception in the hotels. I think so. So, and if you look at before, to manage a hotel, there was four or five people in the IT team itself. Now it is reduced to 1 and 2. In some hotels, there is clustered, not a physical, because these all are, we are getting informed well in advance. This system is going to in this state, so do it. So proactive approach also we can do. So in one way, enhancement of technology is very good, but looking at the job requirement and the job opportunities, it may be getting affected. But definitely it will be like visualizing what you visualize, that you are getting.
So I think in the future, when I walk into a hotel room anywhere in the world, it knows my personal preferences and it's personalized for me, right? On that note, thank you so much for your time and really good insights that we've received today. And Suresh, thank you for the expert views on how a managed IT services company can contribute towards hospitality.
Thank you, Raghu. Thank you so much, Mr. Baiju. It was great conversation we had. Thank you for your insights.
It is my pleasure, and I am honored.